So, of course, clearly, the Blues fans, we know that the priority that we want for us is investment in our squad, because that's what we're going to go and watch. But there's no way they're going to put £15 million on the stadium and then give us a stadium that nobody wants to go to.
Exactly.
They're going to invest in the squad, and I think that again, I've got nothing to base this on, but I've got a feeling even in League One we're going to be surprised with the players we get in my opinion. So welcome back to Small Little Lions FC. And there's no doubt that this is a really exciting time at Birmingham City. And even though we are not happy with the fact that next season, of course, we're going to be playing in League One after relegation, but there's lots of things happening at the moment. You know, after Tony Mowbray was stepped down due to his medical condition, we're now in the process of looking for a new manager, and lots of other great things going on around the club. And in this video, which is unscripted, me and Matt are going to have a general chat about what we're thinking at the moment as Birmingham City fans, and just touch on some of those topics and what our thoughts are. So I'll go straight over to Matt, really. Anything on your mind, Matt?
Well, I'm thinking I might have a little bit of a break from social media because I feel like loads is happening, but nothing's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does,
so
yeah.
We're having lots of conversations, lots of rumours, lots of conversations, but no actual sort of real confirmation or any action. And a lot of Blues fans at the moment, again, from what I'm gauging on social, there is a bit of panic. There is a bit of comparison. You know, we don't have a manager in post yet. Every time a name comes up, everyone's going, oh, I don't want him, or oh, what do you think of him? And then people are going, Rotherham have signed 2 players, people are renewing contracts, and a lot of Blues fans are going, if we don't sign someone quickly, we're going to go down to League Two. And I just think, big breath, let's calm it down. And I don't think it's as drastic as it needs to be. I think as long as the club's doing their due diligence and they're doing this properly, we shouldn't rush the manager role because they're going to have the whole summer to bring in players they want. Let's not rush through the first person that comes through the gate. I trust the club that they're doing their homework, they're doing the interviews right, they're getting everyone lined up. The transfers will follow soon. I mean, if you go on the Sky Sports app, it hasn't even refreshed the league tables yet for next season. We've only just had the FA Cup final at the time of recording today. We're still very much in the season ending, really. So I call for a little bit of patience, a little bit of a break, but I get it. I want news. I want the manager. I want transfers. So, for me, I'm gauging a lot of
I've noticed that. You know, in fact, actually, that's one point that I was going to make. You know, that it's easy to look at other clubs and what they're doing, and some clubs just generally do their business early, which is fine. Now, you raised the point about the manager, and if you've not watched the video we recently did actually on our channel about the various candidates or people that have been linked to the job, check that video out so you can get a bit more detail on what we think about the potential candidates for the Birmingham City job. So we're not going to talk in detail about that, about names linked. It's already done on that video. Yeah. But my point is as well, I'm starting to see some rumours of us being linked to players, and we don't really want to name them yet. Now, that does worry me a little bit in as much as we haven't got the manager in place yet. So I'd be more happy having the manager in place with the thought that the players that we're being linked for are with the approval of the next manager. Because, you know, you appoint a manager and then you've already signed 3 or 4 players. Now, that manager might not fancy these players, and I know that it's a different structure at the club now with obviously the way that the club now recruits. But I totally agree with you that this just element just for now of patience. I've got a feeling I've got nothing to base this on. I've got a feeling that we'll have a manager in place within the next 2 weeks. It is a really important appointment for the club, and they do need to make sure we don't rush it and get the right man in. Obviously, there's some good names being bandied about, you know. So we've done it in that video. We know that they've spoken to people already. I'm sure they'll continue to do that.
Yeah, and also with the manager situation, we're never going to please the entire fan base. You know, some fans are enjoying the idea of Rowett, some fans are enjoying the idea of Lee Carsley, Heckingbottom, all these different rumours. There's just as many for them as there's just as many against. So no matter who we get, we're going to have a little bit of a divide for a little bit. I know we are. But as a fan base, I think it's really important now, especially in League One, that we do come together. Yeah. That we make St.Andrews as hostile as possible for the away people. Sorry, not. no.
Well, no, they've already made it hostile for us as home fans with certain things they did last year. But I know what you mean.
But let's get it as a fortress again. Let's unite. Let's get those away grounds rocking as well. And I've said it on previous videos. We go to as many away games as we can. I'm looking forward to those grungy. Again, no disrespect to League One teams, but you know, you go to those more old school. Let's say old school instead of grungy to not offend anyone. You know. Old school stadiums, you know, let's make it hostile. Let's come together as a fan base. But I'm with you, a little bit of patience. And I think what you've just said is really important. I don't think I think we're linked to players because even though we haven't got a manager, the backroom staff and the recruitment still might want to put the feelers out, ask questions, approach clubs, approach agents. Is he free? But however, I completely agree. I would rather the manager have his say, and then we start to approach players. I think that's really important, because if the recruitment are approaching players and the manager comes in and goes, well, I don't want him.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Yeah. I'd rather be comfortable that the manager's had his say and said, yeah, that's what I really want.
So for me, the manager comes first. That's priority number one. And then let's start the rumour mill around the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else as well that I think is worth mentioning as well, I'm really happy and proud about, is the way that the owners are doing these improvements to the ground. Some of the things I've seen, actually, you've seen the new screens.
I know.
How good is that going to be? You got a screen on the Gilmerick, and you got a screen on the Tilton.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And some fans have gone, oh, I'm worried it's going to block our view. Don't worry, I've seen the screens from all sorts of angles. Even the back seat, it doesn't cut off the view line from the pitch. So and I've seen a few people going, that looks like it's going to block off the. Imagine that. I think the club were a little bit smarter than that, to put a screen up and then block the last 5 rows back in the Tilton.
Unless on the back of the actual thing, they've got television so people can watch the match. We're all right anyway. We're sort of low down. No, that's selfish, isn't it? No. But it's good. But they're going to be brilliant as well. Yeah. Also, did you notice that they've actually built a temporary club shop as well?
So they've closed the current one and put up a pop-up store. They're called pop-up stores. So to make the developments, they're brilliant.
Yeah, and they're doing all that work to the executive boxes, and obviously we know all the work that's happening, which we haven't seen yet, into the new bar in the Tilton. You know,
new fan zones as well. It's going to be new fan zones.
They're going to be brilliant as well, and I think they are hoping to have one open for the Euros as well, aren't they? So the one I think at the back by the Royal George.
Nice.
But you know, the fact that the club are clearly putting their money where their mouth is, they're spending £15 million on a stadium, which they're proposing to within X amount of years won't be there.
And this is a really important point. Villa fans are looking at us and laughing. A lot of League One teams are looking at us and laughing. How many relegated teams do you know that go down and invest in the stadium, put up pop-up stores, put up screens, looking at new managers, looking at transfers? You know,
it tells me, Matt. Obviously, any Blues fans, because of the history we've had, particularly recently, there'll be a lot of scepticism of the fact that we've been relegated. Our owners don't want to know anymore, but they've done the exact opposite. They've come in and they've basically said change. And Tom Wagner said in the open house, didn't it? Changes nothing, and he's absolutely right. Yeah. So, of course, clearly the Blues fans, we know that the priority that we want for us is investment in our squad, because that's what we're going to go and watch. But there's no way they're going to put £15 million on the stadium and then give us a stadium that nobody wants to go to.
Exactly.
They're going to invest in the squad, and I think that I've got nothing to base this on, but I've got a feeling even in League One we're going to be surprised with the players we get in my opinion.
I agree, and to be honest, I think Blues would never admit this. I think it's been chaos behind the scenes for the past sort of 2 or 3 weeks. You know, bless Mowbray having his illness absolutely cannot be helped. I'm sure there was a little bit of, will he come back? Is he well enough to come back? Yeah. And then when he said he wasn't, I'm guessing, Cook especially and the management team's, oh no, now we need to, they possibly planned for Mowbray to come back. Now they need to get a new manager. And I think it's been chaos behind the scenes. I think once we nail the manager down, once we get that settled, I think everything else is going to fall into place really nicely. But I agree with you, and we've been hammered on social media for getting relegated. We've been hammered on social media for, doing all the good things off the pitch but not on. And I think we're going to gradually see that integration of off the pitch with on the pitch. And I think when the manager gets appointed, exactly what you said, we're going to see some surprise signings for this club, and I think when we start the season, we're going to be very happy with the squad that we have.
Yeah, I think so. So it's in what should be a doom and gloom summer for us, having got relegated, is actually turning around in my mind. And I don't know how you feel, Blues fans. Let us know in the comments below. I'm pretty optimistic about the future. Obviously, I'd like to see the manager in place like everybody else. I'd like to see more players, because at the moment we haven't really got much of a squad left after all has been released, but I know it's coming as well.
And there will be some sold as well. Of course there will be. So we're going to have a massive overhaul.
There's going to be a lot of contracted players going, I believe.
And again, recently, in fact, last week we did a video about our 3 players we'd like to see stay at the club. Outside of that, I mean, even those 3 players could actually go because they're very good players, but I still think we're going to see a hell of a lot of turnover.
Absolutely. I think the squad, and it needs to be, is going to become very different. Yeah. With the team that goes out in the first game of the season is going to be very, very different. And it needed to be because we needed to refresh the squad.
A question on that, Dad. So it's happened completely organically in the realm of the conversation. Let's just say, the starting 11 we had last year, and I know it was up and down. How many starting 11 from last year do you think is going to be on the pitch for that first game? I know it's hard to say; it's a difficult question. Just out of ballpark,
I'd be surprised if there's not more than 5. That's a guess, obviously, because there's going to be so many different changes.
I was going to say 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see, won't we? And obviously, it depends. At the moment, we haven't got new players, so it's
well, we've got no strikers, and Tyler Roberts is in Las Vegas, so
getting himself injured. Yeah. Something else I want to mention as well, Matt, is the success of our under-18s and under-21s. At the time of recording, we've obviously last night the under-21s lost 2-0 in the final to Sheffield United. But today, the under-18s beat Charlton 3-2 and actually won. Is it called the Development League? I can't remember whatever they've won the National Development League, whatever it is. So a lot of obviously good talent there in our young players, and real congratulations to them, to all the players, to all the coaching staff, and Steve Spooner for the work that he does with the under-21s as well.
Steve Spooner, whatever he wants, whether it's a pay rise or a new company car, I think he's earned it with the work he's done with the youth squad. Well done, boys. Really, genuinely.
Give him a voucher for 3 points at the start of the season, in the first game of the season, or something like that.
Not even a free one, just reduced to 150.
But I think them days are gone now. I think he might, get a decent deal out of that. But fair play,
recognition. Well done.
Yeah, I think, and I think all of them deserve recognition, and also the fact that now that they're all on professional contracts as well, is really going to steer us right. This is something else the club wanted to develop as well. Yeah. So that's something worth mentioning as well. Anything else for you?
Yeah. So there's two things for me really, and one thing is causing a little bit of stress for Blues fans, and the other's a little bit of a smaller thing. One is the kit. When's the kit going to come out? We have a bespoke kit coming out this year, and our relationship with Nike. I'm personally I quite like it when the new kit comes out.
Just on that, thank you, Matt, for my top. It was my birthday a few days ago, so Matt and his wife Sarah bought me this top for my birthday present. So thanks for that, and I love it.
And my grandkids, Jacob and Tom. I'm going to throw that in there because my wife will kill me if she watches
and Jacob and Tom, if you're watching it, thank you very much as well.
But yes, I'm really looking forward to the new kit coming out. It's a bespoke. It's quite a special relationship with Nike we have apparently now. So looking forward to seeing that. And also season ticket prices. So a lot of Blues fans are thinking, when are they going to come out? When are they going to be announced? Because, Huddersfield did it a week after the season had finished. And I think Coventry have already released theirs as well. So we do seem to be a little bit lagging and slow in this regard. So I'd like to see some news on the season tickets. But
sounds like you're panicking, like you talked about earlier. They've done it and we have. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think
true. Yeah.
We do want clarity though, because I think that from what I've heard and what I'm seeing, there's going to be a big push for season tickets from Blues fans. The fact that we've been relegated, I think there's a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people saying they're going to be buying season tickets for the first time in years.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to get good high season ticket sales. I've got a feeling the club will be sensible about the season ticket prices. The fact that we are relegated, and Tom Wagner said the main driver for revenue is not going to be ticket prices. So let's see what the club do, but I'm pretty confident they'll be fair.
Yeah. Well, I have to pay for my own now, don't I? I remember back in the day when I was a kid, you used to pay for me and my sisters. And
Welcome to being a parent.
No, I've got to pay my own sisters. I'm only joking. But I think that's everything for me. I think two big points for me, Dad, taken away just from this chat in the room here is, a bit of patience. I think that's really key for Blues fans at the moment, and it's really easy to press the panic button. I do it from time to time. Trust me, turn social media off if you need to for a day or two. Just clear your mind from the Blues news, because it can get quite overwhelming. When you're hearing about players, you're hearing about managers, you're hearing all the stresses, it can get a bit overwhelming. So for me, let's not panic. Let's not spend too long on social media, because it can become a circus. It can become a crazy place. And I'm looking forward to the manager being announced, some transfers coming through the door, and still keep seeing the developments in the stadium and what Knighthead are doing around the ground.
Yeah, me too. And I'm looking forward as well when they come out the fixtures as well, see who we're playing and when. That'll be an exciting time as well. Obviously, when we get those fixtures, we'll probably do a video on that just to go through the various who we're playing and where and when. Just one final point from me, which I'd like to finish with, which I don't think we've done so far on one of our podcasts. I'd just like to thank the players that have been released from the club for their service to Birmingham City. The likes of Mark Roberts, Scott Hogan, Ivan Sunjic, Neil Etheridge, Gary Gardner, Marcus Oakley, all have been released, and all of our loan players have gone back. I know that for some of those players, the opportunities have been limited over recent seasons, but I think it's only fair as Blues fans that we thank you for your time with the club and the efforts that you put in, and wish you all the best on your onward journeys for whatever your future holds.
I know you referenced the contract and the loan players, but one loan player specifically I'd like to say, Jay Stansfield. I believe he's going to get some Premier League minutes next season. So Jay, again, I'm sure you don't watch this, but if you do, all the best next season, and I really hope you step up and do some damage in the Premier League.
And we'll see you back at St.Andrews playing for for us the season after when we get back into the Championship, we hope. Anyway, that's what we think at the moment where we are as Blues fans. It's not all doom and gloom, is it really? You know, it's easy to think the football's finished now and that, you know, we've been relegated, but actually we're sort of moving on now. Things are happening at the club, lots happening at the club. So it's actually turning into quite an exciting time. But I'd love to know what you think, Blues fans. You know, what anything on your mind about the club, about what's happening? Remember, we have got videos on the channel in relation to things like manager candidates and various videos about players. So, you know, look through our YouTube library and just check out to see if there's anything in there that you want to watch. But any thoughts you've got or comments about anything about Birmingham City, let us know in the comments below. And we do hope you liked the video. And if you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out already on our social media channels, then make sure you go over there and have a look at our X account and our Instagram account, and you'll see those handles appearing on the screen right now. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Matt will see you on the next video.